Russia, a couple was driving through a dark forest at night when something unexpected happened. Out of nowhere, a big tree suddenly fell right in front of their car, making them drive through it. Thankfully, nobody got hurt and their car wasn't seriously damaged. But imagine how scared they must have felt. Now, some people think this was just a regular accident where a branch fell from the tree, but there are others who have a more mysterious idea. They say maybe a creature like Sasquatch or Yeti threw the tree down. They noticed that the road didn't seem to have many trees around it, so it's a bit strange. Personally, I think the tree probably just fell on its own because it came straight down, and it doesn't look like someone or something threw it. Whatever really happened, it must have been super scary for the couple in the car. And it's interesting because we can't know for sure, so it gives us something to wonder about and imagine different possibilities. Hey, here's a video that's getting a lot of attention. A guy sent in a video saying his trail camera caught something crazy. A skinwalker turning from an animal back into a human. Let's dig in. In the video, we see a forest area with what looks like a man covered in mud, right in the middle of the shot. He seems to be moving from left to right. It's super strange, right? Who would be out there without clothes, all muddy, unless they're changing from being a wild creature into a human? I know, it sounds weird, but we've seen some pretty strange stuff before. So we can't just say it's impossible. We're kind of thinking the person who sent the video might have something here. Maybe they're telling the truth. But here's the thing. We don't know where this happened. So what do you think? Could this really be a skinwalker changing shape in front of us? Or is it just a human caught up in a strange moment in the woods? There's also the chance it's all a big trick. Share your thoughts on this puzzling thing. Sometimes it's not only our own pets that need a helping hand, but also other animals facing tough times. These creatures go through hardships, and their way of asking for aid can truly tug at our hearts. Let's dive into this heartwarming footage. Imagine a young kangaroo swimming partway across a river, then getting totally worn out. Quick-thinking folks on a nearby boat immediately jump in to assist, but getting the kangaroo onto the boat might stress it out, so they opt for an incredible idea. Instead of lifting it on board, they guide the kangaroo to safety, making sure it's okay. It's a moment that shows both human kindness and the determination of animals. And there's more. A family spots a young fawn struggling in a strong current. The mom and kid cheer from the bank while the dad springs into action downstream. With perfect timing, he saves the fawn from a risky situation. Thanks to these kind-hearted folks, the deer escapes without harm. Then there's a big elk stuck in a muddy mess, nearly drowning. After hours of struggle, a team of 5 rescuers pulls it to safety. You can see how tired the elk is afterward. Here's where things get wild, literally. A hungry python decides to snack on a towel. Vets swoop in and help the snake out before things get too strange. Imagine a mother bear anxiously watching her cubs trapped in a dumpster by the roadside. A woman comes to the rescue with a truck and sets up a ladder in the dumpster. The cubs scramble out, safe and sound. Without these brave heroes, the little ones wouldn't have made it. It's incredible to see people coming together to help animals in need. This is nature's teamwork at its finest. Coyotes really have a thing for deer. Whenever a group of coyotes spots a deer, they're all about giving chase to catch their meal. Imagine this. There's a cool video from June 2021 where you can see a bunch of coyotes facing off with a deer. The deer is leaping through tall grass while the coyotes are doing their best to round her up for a snack. Here's a secret that the person who posted the video didn't mention. If you watch closely, for a quick moment, you can spot a little baby deer with the mama. You only get a peek of the baby, but you know how protective mothers are. It's totally likely that the mom is super worried about her little one staying safe. That's probably why they seem to be running in circles. The deer mom wants to keep her baby away from the coyotes. I bet the baby deer is hiding somewhere behind the scenes, where the camera can't see, trying to stay away from the coyotes. And the mom? Well, she's either being a distraction to keep the coyotes away from her baby, or positioning herself between the coyotes and her little one. If anyone out there has seen something like this happen on their property or anywhere else, give me a shout. Let's chat about it. Get ready for another incredible animal rescue. This time it's all about sea lions. In this video, you'll see a group of sea lions looking worried about their buddy. This poor sea lion was having a tough time breathing because a tire got stuck around its neck by mistake. But here's the awesome part. Some amazing people who happened to be there jumped into action. With quick thinking, they formed a rescue team on the spot. They used a hook and a rope to carefully grab onto the tire. Then, with everyone working together, they pulled while the sea lion wiggled and twisted. The sea lion broke free and swam off to reunite with its friends. It's stories like this that warm your heart. Seeing people step up to help an animal in need is just incredible. And the sea lion got its happy ending. Just like the elk we talked about before. Get ready to be amazed. Bears might seem big and tough, ruling the top of the food chain, but they're surprisingly good at moving around, as you'll see in this cool video. They're like agile acrobats. So here's what happened. The bear spots this huge bird's remains hanging from a rope. And guess what? The bear decides to show off its climbing skills. With no fear, it starts climbing up the tree like a pro. Climbing trees is something it's really good at. But then things get a bit tricky. The bear has to walk across a rope to get to its prize. Now imagine this. The bear grabs the rope with its mouth and front legs, while the rest of its body just dangles in the air. It's like a real upper body workout. The bear's all focused on the yummy meal, and just when it's about to grab it, it slips and falls back to the ground. I guess it'll take a breather before trying that stunt again. The good news is, I don't think anyone in their right mind would ever try to come between a bear and its food. This video is a perfect example of nature's incredible moments. Get ready for a spine-chilling tale from a guy named Rick. He's a small-town hunter with generations of hunting know-how. His story goes way beyond the usual deer and rabbits. Rick comes from a long line of hunters, taught to move quietly through the woods and understand animal signs. He's explored those woods his whole life, seen all sorts of critters. It was like a second home, safe and predictable. Until one day, everything changed. Out in his usual hunting spot, about a mile from his cabin, Rick felt things shift. This day, like any other, started normal, up at dawn, breakfast, and into the woods with his trusty dog, Max. They went to a cozy spot where deer like to hang out near a creek. Rick was ready for a successful hunt. But soon, the woods got weird. Everything went quiet, and a terrible smell of rot filled the air. The sun started setting, and then he saw it. A creature around 9 feet tall with deer-like legs, a skull-like face, and glowing yellow eyes. Things got worse. There were rustling sounds, and Max, usually brave, got scared. The stink got worse, like something was rotten nearby. Rick pressed on, thinking it was just a dead animal. But then he reached a clearing. In the moonlight, he saw it again. A creature with deer-like legs, a skull head, and those eerie, glowing eyes. The stench was unbearable, and fear froze him in place. The creature looked at him, and Rick felt primal terror like never before. He'd faced tough animals, but this was different. It wasn't just an animal, it was something unnatural. The glowing eyes, the weird shape, and the smell, they all added up to something otherworldly. Rick was scared, but also fascinated by what he was seeing. He managed to back away slowly and get home. Since that encounter, Rick's world changed. The woods that used to be his haven now felt threatening. Every sound had him on edge. He couldn't shake off the feeling of dread. He heard strange noises at night and caught whiffs of the same smell. Rick told his friends, but most didn't believe him. Some thought he was joking, others blamed it on booze. Only a few understood his fear. Over time, he learned to cope, hunting less and avoiding that part of the woods. He'll never forget that creature, the terror it brought, and the way it changed his perspective forever. Back in February 2021, a Brazilian news show was doing a live interview. But guess what? They accidentally caught something super weird on camera.
Muitas pessoas aí estão me procurando, né? Devido à imagem que parece uma nave espacial.
Yep, this strange thing flew by in the background while they were talking.
Então, acho que sem querer a gente pegou alguma coisa que a gente não sabe ainda o que é, não é isso, Ceni?
And you won't believe it. Lots of people in Brazil saw it too. They sent messages to the TV station about it. Before you know it, news all around the world was talking about this mystery. People everywhere were guessing what this thing could be. Share your thoughts in the comments. We've shown you lots of cool clips with animals in their natural homes, from bobcats and mountain lions' interesting mating sounds to deer and elk making their unique calls during their special season. These sounds they make aren't just for love, they're like alarms for danger too. And now, here's something really interesting. A police officer in Texas stopped at a rest area and recorded a super strange sound from the nearby woods. Give it a listen.
Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop. And they say Bigfoot isn't real?
This sound is so loud and different. It's not just loud, it's like it's from another world. Maybe it's a really big deer or elk making this noise. Or could there be something even more mysterious behind it? The police officer who recorded it has a pretty exciting idea. Could this be the sound of Bigfoot? Some people say Bigfoot is just a story, but this sound makes you think twice. It's a question that hangs in the air, and it's fun to guess. So, what do you think it might be? Get ready to meet a curious bear in the video. This bear has actually shown up on this trail camera more than once, but what's really interesting is that the bear didn't like being watched. Nope, not at all. It decided to do something about it. The bear used its strong paws to attack the camera, biting and tearing at it until it was totally wrecked. The bear's tough actions made it disappear completely, and when the video suddenly ends, you can see that the camera was completely destroyed by the bear. That means we don't get to see any more of the bear's adventures. It's like the bear wanted some alone time, just like we do sometimes. I've shared a bunch of awesome clips about mountain lions on this channel because they're just so cool. They're big, sneaky, and mysterious predators that can surprise anyone. This next picture is mind-blowing. Look at how close this mountain lion got to a deer without being noticed. Deer are super cautious creatures, and they're really good at sensing danger. Experts say deer can smell humans just like we can smell a skunk, so it's seriously surprising that this mountain lion managed to sneak up so close without the deer hearing a thing. Maybe the wind or the natural wild scents covered up the cougar's smell, or maybe the cougar was lying low and waiting for the deer to stroll by without noticing. Either way, the person who put up the trail camera in that spot deserves a high five. They caught this incredible moment on camera. Get ready to smile because we've got a super cute video for you. In this clip, there are two adorable baby deer hanging out on a gravel road. They seem to think they're hiding from the person recording them, who they might see as a danger. But the funny thing is, they're not doing a great job at hiding. Birds do to see, birds do to right. They're pretty easy to spot. Still, it's such a sweet and funny moment to watch. These little fawns are lying down on the road, trying to stay as still as possible. Maybe they learned it from their mom, or maybe it's just something they naturally do. If you've ever been in the woods and had a deer suddenly jump up near you, you know how surprising it can be. It's also cool how these creatures will let you get pretty close before they decide to move. This brings up a couple of interesting questions. If you saw these baby deer on the road, what would you do? And how do you think they ended up in this funny situation in the first place? Get ready for an incredible story. This is about Casper, a 20-month-old sheepdog in Decatur, Georgia. He's a Great Pyrenees and takes care of a group of sheep. One day, some sneaky coyotes came around, trying to mess with the sheep under Casper's watch. Casper's owner, John, explained that these coyotes just showed up out of the blue. They were doing their coyote thing, running around and being tricky. Usually they run off if you stand up to them. But this time, they didn't give up easily. They left, but came back later the same day. When John came outside, he saw Casper and another sheepdog named Daisy, keeping the sheep cornered. Those coyotes were back for round 2. This time, about half of them were inside the pen, while others waited outside. Casper stepped up to face them as they tried to get closer. What's strange is that these coyotes acted different from before. They didn't run away when John yelled. They were focused on the sheep. As they moved closer, in a flash, Casper dashed into the group of coyotes. Some scrambled to escape, but the ones that stayed ended up meeting their end. Casper took them on, right there in the pen. After that, Casper jumped out and dealt with a few more coyotes that were still challenging him. Then he chased after the rest of the pack. What followed was a battle that went on for around 30 minutes. John even grabbed a weapon to help, but Casper was determined even though he got hurt during the fight. The coyotes started giving up ground, realizing there might be easier prey elsewhere. But Casper wouldn't let them go. He chased them off, and John followed as best as he could. As the day turned into night, they lost sight of Casper and the coyotes. The family was worried. Casper was a part of their family, not just a working dog. They put out a Facebook post, and with the help of neighbors, they followed a trail of blood and found bits of Casper's tail. He was in rough shape. Despite their efforts, they couldn't locate him. 2 days later, by the chicken coop, John saw a surprise. It was Casper. He looked beaten up, but alive. They cleaned him up, realizing he needed serious vet care, but Casper pulled through and recovered fully. He's one loyal and brave dog. A wildlife expert said this is rare. Dogs don't usually win against coyotes. Coyotes attacking pets has sadly become common in many areas of the U.S.